plaintiff, Natalie Cash, and the defendant were best friends, and she thought it would be a good idea to move in together. However, it turned out to be worse than living with her parents. Natalie claims the defendant and her boyfriend constantly complained about her friends, and her boyfriend even threatened to pull a gun on them. And she's suing the defendant today for breach of contract. Defendant Brandy Stepp admits that she owed Natalie money and even signed a contract agreeing to repay her. However, Brandy claims while she and Natalie were working together, she gave Natalie some of her tip money to cover the debt, and therefore she owes her nothing.
Prove your case.
All right, I thought it'd be an awesome idea to move in with one of my best friends. We'd always gotten along. We've been friends for 3 years now. It actually ended up being worse than living with my parents. It was.
How so?
When I had company over, her boyfriend would always complain about it and then would go to her and complain also.
Oh, he lived there?
Yes, it was us three. One instance, I had friends over and he accused them of having sex in a chair, which was totally untrue. They were fully clothed.
Actually, they admitted to him that they were performing sexual acts on each other.
Why did he have a problem? Just want to hear.
Because it was in our house. We were locked out of our house. We couldn't get in. Nobody would answer the door.
You all attempted to get in?
Yes.
All right, and you didn't have a key?
We actually had changed one of the locks because our landlord
Changed the lock on yourself?
Yeah. Yes.
And didn't get a key for yourself?
Well, it was a lock that we had.
So therefore you couldn't get in?
It was a lock we had. That way, one of the guys, our landlord, had given a key. Couldn't get in while we were sleeping or anything until we could go buy one.
Let me understand this, because maybe I heard this wrong. You said you couldn't get into your house.
Yes.
Because you changed the locks on yourself.
Yes. It was a lock on the inside.
And then didn't even give yourself a key.
There wasn't a key for it. It was just one of the ones on the inside just to lock the door, like while you were in the house.
And you had someone else living with you?
Yes.
Who you would assume would have visitors from time to time?
Yes, but we all had an understanding that, you know, we could call each other or whatever and they'd open the door.
You had an understanding with the visitors too?
Well, we were supposed to be in the house with our visitors. My point
is, ma'am, if visitors come in, they might not even know the circumstance, and just out of protection for her, themselves, and whoever else, they locked the door. So they complained about the chair, and that caused a stir.
Yeah, and they went outside to calm down everything, and Paul threatened to pull a gun on them for being disrespectful, which I wasn't there, so I don't know if that really happened, but I have witness statements from 2 of the people stating what he accused them of.
What else?
Then I was trying to be a good friend to her. When they moved up here, she wasn't working and they didn't have any money saved up, so we moved in together. I got her a job at where I worked, so she would have some money.
To get her a new chair?
No, for rent and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
But from our whole entire friendship, I've always known her to be more of a storyteller, but I was a good enough friend to be able to look past her exaggerating some things. And I was really happy when I moved back in with my parents.
Let me hear from you.
Well, what happened was when originally in the contract, it was just supposed to be the 3 of us.
What contract are you referring to?
Where we were going to repay her for the deposit that she put down.
Who has a contract? And you say originally what?
It was just supposed to be the 3 of us living in the townhouse.
First, let me allow her to tell me about it because it's her lawsuit.
On March 15th, me, the defendant, and her boyfriend signed a lease, which I have a copy of if you'd like it, to move into a townhouse on a month-to-month. It was $700 a month. They were to pay $465, and I was to pay $235. Our deposit was $1,000, $700 for the security deposit, $300 for the first month's rent, because we were moving in on the 15th, not the 1st. And she agreed to pay for 2/3 of it, which would take care of her and her boyfriend's share. And she hasn't paid me anything yet. She bought a lot of appliances. I told her if she couldn't pay me back by May 15th, just to give me $10 every week, which she hasn't paid me anything at all.
Ma'am?
Actually, Your Honor, when we worked together, I would take $20 out of my tips, I'm a server, and give her the rest to go towards that.
How often?
It was week to week, but at the beginning of each month, yes.
And you believe that covered it all?
No, actually, what I do believe if I owe her anything, it's $100, because 3 days after we moved into the townhouse, she moved her boyfriend in, Kyle, which is
No, ma'am, we go by the contract? I don't see Kyle's name on here. I don't see anything about a boyfriend. All I see is you agreed to pay her $665 by May 15th, and you say that you paid her $20 a week from what, March 15th until May 15th?
I took out $20 and gave her the rest.
Okay, and you don't know how much that was?
Not off the top of my head. No, I don't.
It's your obligation to prove you've paid.
Yes,
Because she has proven that you owe.
Yes.
And your defense is you've paid.
Yes, I
So
have
you
witness
have to
statements that I have.
Okay, let's see
And-
it. Does your witness here want to speak? Sir, do you want to speak?
Well,
Stand up, state your name. Yes, what do you want to tell me?
I did have a gun in the house, about the little gun issue. I did have a gun in the house, but I went into the house while she wasn't even there. She was over at the neighbor's house. They had sexual things over there. While everybody else is at our house. And what I did was I went in and got my gun because there's other people in my house, in my bedroom, and
Your Honor, no one was
I
in
left.
his bedroom?
Let him finish, ma'am. Go ahead.
I left with the gun and gave the gun to my uncle. So the gun was at my uncle's house, and it wasn't even a real gun.
It was a little BB
Yeah.
airsoft gun.
All right.
There was alcohol in the house. There was, she brought weed in the house. I don't know if she did, but somebody brought weed in the house.
That's terrible.
Well, we had an agreement to where we wouldn't do
No,
that.
this sounds like he wishes he was there. I thought I told you to kick that. But I'm always kidding around with him. I'm going to read part of your letter here. One day, Natalie and Kyle came to my home together around May of 2010. Natalie had made a statement saying Brandy Stepp and Paul still owed Natalie some money. Your own friend said you owed money.
If you keep reading the letter, that is what the defendant told her. That is what it's my ex-mother-in-law to be.
Natalie Kitch had made a statement. She had made a statement saying Brandy Stepp and Paul Savage still owed. So this person is testifying to what she said.
Yeah,
And she said you still owe. So I'm going to believe your witness.
But if you
The
keep
witness
reading,
Houston, 665 is your judgment. Have a good day.
I'm just glad it's all over and we can put it behind us.
I mean, I'm still willing to be friends, but it'll be hard to trust her again.
I honestly don't want to be your friend. I didn't want to be your friend in the first place, so, I mean.
You don't have to be my friend. I'll be her friend. It's cool.